What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome, guys. Looking over at my other screen. Let me make sure the audio is the way it's supposed to be as far as levels. Give me a quick second. Yep, we are where we need to be. And some of you guys may have been used to seeing me look in this direction, where I've gone back to having my screen on the left, so you're gonna see me look this way as my eyes or my face seems to be turning away from the screen as opposed to when it was over here. So some of y'all have probably seen me do it in multiple ways. But what's happening, man? How's everybody doing? This is gonna be quick. Welcome to the latest episode of what I like to call the Before Play. This is Steelers versus Raiders, Week 6 of the 2024 season. And what I typically do on this particular show, a lot of times this is a pre-recorded video. I had the time today. I think I might start doing more of this as a stream. I think you guys kind of enjoy the stream more than the pre-recorded video. So maybe I will try to commit to making this a stream so I can interact with you guys in real time, and those who are unable to see it in real time will see it later as a pre-recorded production, right? So killing two birds in one stone. I appreciate you guys being here. As Ali says, yeah, we appreciate it. So yeah, man, I'm trying to make this show and my channel and all that more interactive. I'm trying to help it grow, and I think streaming is probably the best way to do that. I'm sure you guys agree. But yeah, this is quick. This is definitely not a drawn out show. I actually got some steaks marinated right now. We're gonna throw on the grill. So yeah, can't be here long with you guys. But what I like to do on this particular show, man, is I just give some light keys to victory. Sometimes it's things that I clearly identify. Other times it's things that, it's obvious. And what's up to my brother Tony in the building, man? That's my man right there. For those of you that don't know, that is my guy. Me and Tony are brother-in-laws through Leonard Langley, who y'all see pop up here and there. It's my boy right there, man. Good to see Tony, man. I can't wait to see you again in person, Tony. It's about that time. But let's get to it, guys. What we're going to talk about is who's going to play in these games. That's the first thing I get into. So let me throw it up on the screen here. Give me a second. There we are. So let's take a look at what's going on, man. If we look at the Steelers, we'll look at the report here first in terms of what was reported on Friday, and then, of course, we'll take a look at who's actually going to play. But I always like to look at the injury report as well, because even though some people have already been ruled out or what have you, I want to know what some of these guys may have been dealing with that could creep up in the game. So it's always important to acknowledge that. So as you can see, on yesterday's practice, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they did say, or they do show, that Russell Wilson, for once, is a full participant. So, as we already know, he has been announced as the number 2 quarterback, and I am going to talk about that a bit on this show. Najee Harris was full. He was resting earlier in the week. DeMonte KZ did not practice, dealing with the ankle. Running back, Jaylen Warren, full participant. That's somebody who's perked up throughout the week. Minka Fitzpatrick was resting, but he was full yesterday. Obviously, Nick Herbig did not practice. And look at this. Alex Highsmith was limited. So at least Alex Highsmith is working his way back as a limited participant yesterday. I don't think he's going to be playing, but we'll take a look. Isaac Seumalo resting, but he was a full participant yesterday. Michael Pruitt limited with the knee. Cordero Patterson did not practice. Pat Fryermuth dealing with the calf situation. He was full yesterday. TJ Watt resting, full yesterday. Cam Haywood resting, full yesterday. DeMarvin Leal with the neck did not practice. We have since learned that DeMarvin Leal was put on IR. So be as it may, there's some guys that are going to be upgraded. Maybe we'll take a look at that here on the site as well in a moment. But yeah, Leal is out, so we already know what we're dealing with there. And Larry Ogunjobi as well was a full participant, and Ogunjobi was rest as well during the week, excuse me. Now let's take a look at who isn't going to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As you can see there, KZ is out. Jaylen Warren, it says upgraded on Saturday, no designation. So that must mean Jaylen Warren is going to play, and that's going to be significant. I'm going to talk about that here in a moment. Nick Herbig out. Alex Highsmith out. Michael Pruitt out. Cordero Patterson out. DeMarvin Leal is out as well. So significant people will not be playing. Let's flip over here to the Raiders and see what they got going on. And we'll just look at their outs. We don't really need to see what they did throughout the week. But look at this. Devontae Adams will not be playing. Tommy Eckenberg, questionable. Michael Mayer is out. Interesting. Okay, pretty solid tight end there. But of course, they have Bowers too, if I'm not mistaken. But some of us would remember Michael Mayer. I believe this is the kid from Notre Dame. At one time, we were looking at possibly hoping that Steelers would draft him, but he's not playing. Jacoby Myers is questionable. Tackle Thayer Munford Jr. is questionable. Also, the guard, Jackson Powers Johnson. Some of us should know that name, right? He's questionable with the knee. Zamir White is questionable as well. And this is a guy that I have on my fantasy league. So, it's been tough with him being out or questionable the last couple of weeks. But, knowing me, even if he's ready to go, I'm probably going to sit him because I do not want them to have a day against us in the real world. Forget that fantasy team, which is the reason why playing fantasy just hadn't been my thing in the last several years, but I finally picked it back up playing last year and playing this season as well. But moving on, man, safety Trey Taylor is also questionable with the knee. So again, the big names that we can really consider out, Devontae Adams, Michael Mayer, and, keep an eye on the tackle and, of course, Jackson Powers Johnson to see whether or not he is going to play. All right, let's get back here to the screen with me. So, what do I think the keys to victory may be? May or may not be for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tony says he hopes Max Crosby is out. Yeah. To me, man, I'm going to take a slightly different approach than what I've been saying in previous weeks. I mean, obviously, people are always going to say, oh, run the football, possess the football, clock management and all of that, yada, yada, yada. What I'm going to say is something different for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the reason why I'm going to say this is something that I think desperately has to happen. It is going to be needed as we progress throughout this season, whether it is Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. Excuse me. I feel a sneeze coming on as well, guys, so I'm going to say excuse me in advance. But regardless of who the quarterback will be in, let's say, the next 3 to 4 weeks, keys to victory for this game and to set a standard going forward, the Steelers need to open it up, man. They really do. We've seen 5 weeks of the Steelers being semi-conservative. Of course, I want them to continue to try to run the football. Sure. Okay, if we can run for 300 yards, great. Nobody's complaining. I understand we want to establish the run, but I think the Steelers need to get out of the control the clock, keep the score low, play great defense, and hope for the best. No. I think we need to start allowing Justin Fields, as of tomorrow, allow Justin Fields to open it up. We need to play with a lead. That is the keys to victory. This game right here against the Vegas Raiders, they don't scare me. But like I have said in past years, it be those teams like that can beat the Steelers, right? You look at the Colts team. The Colts team wasn't necessarily a team that you were afraid of, especially after Anthony Richardson goes down. But look what happened. The Raiders could be talented enough to win, right? I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and say that. And I usually don't like to call that. But this is a winnable game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Y'all know I'm a component of any given Sunday, but this is a winnable game for the Steelers. This Raiders team does not scare me, and I'm not just looking at their record being 2-3. They don't scare me. Yeah, we got to keep an eye on Max Crosby, of course, but the Raiders team does not scare me. Look what Denver just did to them, and I know styles make fights. You know, you can't look at what one team did to the other. You can't even say, well, look at how we handled Denver. No. Styles make fights. Divisional games matter. As you progress through the season matters. Maybe Denver's getting a little better. So I'm not going to look at that. But I will say there's really nothing that scares me about these Raiders. Not offensively and not even defensively overall. Even though they've been pretty decent against the pass as far as where they rank in terms of yardage. But Max Crosby, that's about it. Gardner Minshew is the quarterback. No disrespect to him, but come on, this one should be a very easy game plan. Force Gardner Minshew to beat you. Now, I'm not saying this guy doesn't have that capability, but force him to beat you. He didn't have the best game last week. Sorry, guys. Coughing and whatnot. By the way, my little son, my man Mason, is dealing with something right now. He's got a fever going up and down his throat. He's coughing. Maybe he's passing whatever he has down to me and my wife. Took him to the doctor yesterday just to make sure they didn't see anything. No flu, no COVID, or nothing like that. They think it might just be some type of cold. But my throat is scratching and stuff now too. So hopefully he didn't pass it down to me. Excuse me. But anyway, just explaining to you guys why I'm doing a little coughing and whatnot. But yeah, man. I mean, listen, Minshew didn't have the best game. Right? And if I go back and look at the stats, I had the stats up. Hold on. I was looking at the statistics from last week. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Let's see. Okay, last week, Gardner Minshew. 12 for 17, 137 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Aiden O'Connell, which I think he might be the starter. So actually, I don't know. I know there was some conversation about that. Maybe one of you guys can can chime in on that. Do we know whether or not it's O'Connell or Minshew? O'Connell was 10 for 20, 94 yards, 1 interception. I would say make either one of these guys beat you, man. And I didn't look to see who was going to be the starter for them. And let me say this too really quick. I saw on one of these shows I did, I think it was not last week, the week before, somebody left a comment, you're not prepared. You call yourself doing a podcast. Let me tell you something. I do this just out of being a fan. This is not a professional podcast. Excuse me. I don't have a research department. I just deal with the Steelers. I lightly look at what the other teams are doing. I look at their stats. Every now and then I watch a previous game. But I'm sorry. I'm just a fan. This is your average Joe pod, if you want to call it that. But it's so funny to see some of the negative comments people spew at you. I love it. It's so much entertaining to me. Doesn't affect me one bit. It's so entertaining, but I love the little darts that people throw. And I openly admit, I don't know who's starting for the Raiders. I don't know which. I didn't care to look. Either way, my point still stands. Whether it's Minshew or O'Connell, this should be easy for the Steelers. Make that guy beat you. Shut down the run and make that guy beat you. But again, let me get back to my point so I can go ahead and get out of here. The biggest key to victory to me is the Steelers need to, hold on, guys. Sneeze is coming. Man, I don't know. Maybe it's allergies or something bothering me. I feel fine. But listen. This needs to be the game where the Steelers show that they can win in different ways. That's my key to victory. Open it up. take the training wheels off. Cool. If you want to come in there and establish the run and the run is going, great. But let's not just stick to that same formula. Because again, after watching the All 22, and you guys that have are members of the channel saw some of that exclusive content I posted yesterday. There's some plays to be made. Let me say that. Wasn't Justin Fields' best game last week. Missed a couple opportunities. You know, he had a couple opportunities right in front of him. I showed a situation where it was a 3rd and 5. He should have checked it down to Pat Fryermuth. Didn't do it. He tried to throw it down the left side to George Pickens. It was a one-on-one type of situation. Didn't happen. Also, that pass he tried to throw to Van Jefferson, I'll give him credit. He puts it out in front. Might be a touchdown. He underthrew it. But again, if you look at that route or look at that play, Calvin Austin is running an over route right in front of him. And there was space for him to deliver. So I don't know what Fields was doing in some of those scenarios where, again, I felt like it was right in front of him and he may have gone in a different direction. You don't know what these quarterbacks are seeing. But even with that said, let me go ahead and get to this point. Fields, to me, has not done anything to be benched. I don't feel like we've lost a game because of Justin Fields. I just don't. I can understand the argument. Some people want to see Russell Wilson. That's fine. I'm not rooting against Russell. I'm not rooting against Fields. I'm rooting for whoever gives us the best chance. Y'all know I love Russell Wilson. But just being fair, in all fairness, Justin Fields, in my opinion, has not lost games for us. Until I see him literally have a stinker of a game and lose the game, I'm hesitant to put Russell Wilson in there, because if you do, you take a component of the offense completely away. Like it or not, Fields has helped us with his legs and has the potential to help us with his legs. He poses a different threat with read option and all of that. He poses a threat, quarterback draw, quarterback sneak, design run, quarterback power. So that's where I'm at with it, man. And I just feel like they need to open up the offense. This is a perfect game to show the league and show yourselves and show us, the devoted fans, that you can win a football game in a different manner than just trying to pound the rock. Even if the brick wall is not moving, you just keep running up against it. No. Show us that you can win out of 11 personnel. Hey, they say that Roman Wilson is dressing. How much will he play? I don't know. But show us that we can win some football games and make more plays with receivers. Show the threat. Because if you show that threat, then teams don't really know how to play us. We have talent enough on that offense, even though we don't have a bona fide number 2. We have enough talent on that offense to make the defenses respect us if we mix it up. This is a perfect game to do that. They have to play with a lead. I would love to see the Steelers get out to a 14-point lead early on within the first half. That is my key to victory. Now, if we go out there and follow the same script and we able to run the ball up and down the field, I ain't gonna complain. As long as we scoring points. But ultimately, man, if we got to be a strike first offense, we have to show that we're capable of getting off to a fast start. And that is my main key to victory. There's nothing else that makes me nervous or scares me about the Raiders. No disrespect to them. I'm just saying they are a beatable team. We were in a close game with the Cowboys, with the Colts. We beat Atlanta. We beat the Broncos. All of these teams right now, when you look at their records, it's like, oh, okay, these teams are all pretty decent. I forget who we got the third win against. Who was that, guys? I'm forgetting. I'm drawing a blank. Hold on, let me look. Drawing a blank. Who did we play? Oh, the Chargers. Now, I don't know exactly what their record is, but again, that was a tough, grinded out game. So we've shown that we can be in these games, man. You know what I'm saying? We've shown it. We played some decent teams. So the Raiders don't scare me. If we execute the way we're supposed to, I think we get a victory on this one. I just do. It's just my opinion. But we're going to have to show it, man. Let's stop playing these close grind out games, bro. Because when you do that, also, the second thing that you do is you allow these teams the opportunity. We need to be a team that can possibly put you away and let the defense cook. Where it doesn't have to come down to a 4-minute and 56-second drive, which ended up being a 4-minute and 36-second drive, leaving us 20 seconds. Because some people are going to say, oh, well, we should have won that. Yeah, okay. But had we scored a few more points, had we scored more than 17, and again, going back to my number, anywhere from 21 to 24 points, we win. We win that game. And that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. If we score 21 to 24 points, just on paper, I think we can win this game in Las Vegas. And those are my keys to victory right there. Open the playbook up. Open up your approach. Attack first. Quick start. Force whoever's playing quarterback for the Raiders to beat you. If you do that, I like our chances. And also, hopefully, looks like Jaylen Warren is playing. We need to feature Jaylen Warren because Najee Harris, as much as I love him, I love his personality. I love, his demeanor on the field. He is just he's not the same type of running back as a Warren or a Cordero Patterson in this offense. Those two guys are better suited to run the zone runs because they are one cut and go type of running backs. Najee sometimes is a little indecisive. He doesn't hit the hole very fast. He's more of a lumbering guy. I like what Najee brings to the table. Hey, the two screens that we've run to him this season, he's done great things. Shout outs to him. But we need that one cut and go type of back. That is Jaylen Warren. That is also why people's eyes perked up when they saw Cordero Patterson in what game was that against the Colts and picking up those yards, steady picking up yards back to back to back. It's because of their style. So we need to incorporate that. You know what I mean? So that's what I got, man. That's what I got. I'll spend a couple seconds here, guys, just to read a few comments, and then we're going to get out of here, man. Great timing on this video. We're only 24 minutes in. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 more minutes. Ollie Howard says, let's let Fields learn the position from Russ. That's who he modeled his game after. Fields is the future. Okay, so I think some of you guys are asking for Russ. Leonard Green says, I want to see Russ play just because he's a veteran savvy. Yeah, listen, I'm with y'all, man. I'm with y'all as far as the idea of Russell Wilson. The only thing that scares me is that the way the offense has played and the style of offense that we're playing, we're going to lose a component with Russ in there. Now, maybe Russell Wilson, I'll say this, maybe some of those throws that I talked about, maybe Russ sees those. Maybe Russell Wilson throws with a little more anticipation. So I'm not going to be mad if Russell Wilson comes in. And if he does start to play and elevates the team, great. Great. And maybe it's a sweet marriage, right? Fields came in, he won some games, lost a couple games, and we'll see what happens this weekend. Let's just say Russ has to take over and he sits back and learns the things that he could do better from Russ, and then he's the future. Beautiful story. So I'm not opposed to Russell Wilson playing. All I'm saying is it's hard for me to sit here and just say, yank him out and put in Russ when Fields hasn't necessarily done anything to lose the starting position. That's all. That's where I sit with it. But trust me, if Russell comes in, you're not going to hear me complain. I'm going to say, okay, let's see what this looks like. All right. Stillberg says, if the defense gets 3 turnovers and a blocked field goal, that should be a W. Yeah. They got to threaten the defense with the deep ball. Haven't seen it yet. And that's one thing Russell Wilson probably would do a little more. I will say that. But you're right, Stillberg. 3 turnovers, man. 3. And a blocked field goal. And we only scored 17 points. See what I'm saying? The offense has to get going. Mark Cunningham, my man Mark, what's up, Mark? He says, I've been saying 23 points per game is the magic number since preseason. Yeah, that's all we need. Between 21 and 24, anywhere around there, if we can average, I think we're okay in a lot of these games. With the occasional ability to hit a 30-point game. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the ability to every now and then, we got to go toe-to-toe with somebody. Defense is doing good enough, but you're playing a great offense. And you might have to put up 28, 27, 30. But if you can average that 21 to 24, I like that 23 spot that Mark is saying, we good money. We good money. Mark says, despite all of our issues, if we win tomorrow, we're 4-2 and in good shape. You're right. You're right. But I'm with y'all, man. I'm not disagreeing. I hope it comes off that way. I'm not opposed to Russell playing. It's just we're in a tricky spot right now with the quarterback. And I will say this game might determine a lot for the quarterback. RG Lee says, I think Sim is right about the Raiders. We should smash them, but we can't open up. We can't open up with a QB who can't open it up. Okay. So you're thinking that Fields can't do maybe what I'm asking. Possible. But what I will say is this. I go back to the game. Which game was that? The Colts game? The Colts and the Charger game. Let's not forget, man, Justin Fields threw for 312 yards. Was that the Colts? Rushed for 55. 2 touchdowns on the ground, threw 1. That's about all. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking, he can open it up. We could get a 300-yard plus performance. I think he's capable of doing that. And when I say open it up, you still got to open it up in his realm. Call the necessary plays that he's comfortable with, but let's pass the ball a little more. And I know it's funny to say that, but I even saw Ben Roethlisberger ask that question after the Cowboys game. Where's the passing game? And that's what I mean, guys, when I say open it up. We got to get a little bit outside of that norm. Open that thing up. Mix. We need a mixed bag. We can't just be passing and stuff like that when now we're trying to catch up. Nah, man. You got to strike first. Have a balanced offense from rip. That's what keeps teams on their heels. And that's all I'm saying. But we'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and close this one out, man. Mark Malone, what's up, Mark? Mark says we need to throw for 300-plus yards a game. Yeah, and sometimes you're right, Mark. Sometimes it requires that. And this is what I'm saying. Everybody comes into a game with a script. If the first quarter and a half, it looks like we just can't get any footing or any bearing going with the run game, and I'm talking about we done had 3 or 4 possessions where we're 3 and out, or we're 6 and out, 5 and out. We ain't getting no footing with the run game. Let's start opening it up now. Let's not wait until the second half. That's all I'm saying. If we come in there and we run and run down their throat, I'm not complaining. All I'm asking Arthur Smith to do, and whoever else has a hand in that, whether it's Tomlin or whoever else, don't stick to the script so long. Give it a couple series. I'll even give you 2 to 3 series. But if it look like it ain't getting going, now let's start mixing it up. But my preference would be let's mix it up off rip. Off rip. Throw them darts, man. Throw them darts and they don't know where they coming from. They trying to dodge this one, that one. That's what I'm saying. Not just that one dart that you know is going this way and it's easy to just, throw a bunch of them. That's all I'm saying. Last one. Do they trust Fields? Some of the play calls make it seem like they don't. And that's the number one question, my man. It's the number one question. Number one question, Stillberg. And yeah. We'll see. And yeah, Fields is playing tomorrow. Fields is the starter. So we'll see. Like I said, this could be a big defining game for him, whether the Steelers feel like they need to move on. But again, if he doesn't have a bad game, like I said, we're in a tricky spot. Because Fields hasn't necessarily done anything to warrant being benched. So it shall be interesting. But we'll all be watching tomorrow, man. Hopefully everything works out the way we want it to. And yeah, I shall be doing a post-game show. It was a chance that I wasn't going to be around tomorrow, but since my son, is still dealing with some symptoms of, being sick, I think I will be around and I'll do the post-game show following the show. But small chance if I'm not, it will happen at some point tomorrow. But look out for that after tomorrow, following the game. But outside of that, man, I appreciate y'all tuning into this. I definitely wanted to start doing this as a stream as well, and I appreciate you guys' participation. Only thing else I'll say, man, have a great rest of the night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank you guys for tuning in. I shall see you guys tomorrow. Here we go, Steelers. Peace.